Hi, greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Bo here. I'm doing, it's not a vinyl finds. I was inspired recently. Hanna at the Omaha Introvert is doing a contest. She doesn't need my entry to her contest because she's long passed me up in subs, or she need my recommendation. That's not what I'm here for. But part of her contest was to talk about, recommend some psychedelic records. That's a genre she's thinking about getting into. And so this is just it kind of inspired me to do a video on psychedelic music. I'm by no means the expert, but this is my 2 cents on it. So let's start, with source material. Start right here on YouTube. There are some excellent sources right here. Ron at the Hog's Ear Report, Randy at Deadwax 66. You've got Hippie DJ Kit. You've got Matt Sands and Sam at the Psychedelic Experience. You've got Mark Ditch Glass Orchid Aftermath used to make really good psychedelic videos. So there's a lot of good. There's some other, and there's plenty of other people that I'm leaving. Dan at Dots and Loops. So if I didn't mention you, it's not on purpose. It's just that we don't have all day. I only get to make these things for 15 minutes and then it cuts off. So I got to try to get through this. Other sources, magazines, Ugly Things. This comes out quarterly. This is a great magazine. It's about garage rock and psychedelic music. Great articles about big bands, small bands. I mean, those little tiny bands that, hey, these guys released one single, they're from Ohio, and Joe got drafted, and that was the end of the band. That's what this is all about, man. So there's really good information in Ugly Things. Highly recommended. Richard Morton Jack has a couple of great books out there. This is Psychedelia, 101 iconic albums, underground albums from, oh, I should have grabbed the Electric Prunes, I'm thinking about it, from 66 to 70. And then, of course, the Holy Grail book. And mine is well loved and well beat up, but this is Endless Trip. Great source material. If it was a U.S.-Canadian record released between like 1962 and 1975 and it's remotely psychedelic, there's a write-up about it in here. Whether it's back in the day from like Cheetah magazine or from Rolling Stone or something, or if it's from Circus, or if it's a new update by one of the people that helped put this book together. And it's, this is a great source material for all kinds of stuff, all things psychedelic in nature. Endless Trip. Okay, so I thought I'd show a few. I got a pretty good stack of albums here. Start with some stuff that are from big, well-known bands that I think are must-haves in any collection. This is The Doors' Strange Days. This is a mono copy, and it's got When the Music's Over, which is my favorite Doors song. The other one that's important to have, and have these in mono, especially. There are some albums you want to have in stereo, some you want to have in mono. These early Doors albums you definitely want in mono. If you've got the mono copy, you can hear Jim Morrison saying bad things on the track at the end. If you have the stereo copy, not so much. It's also a mono copy. I think you have to have a mono copy of this too. Like I said, some stereo, some mono. If you can get mono, recommend mono. This is a Surrealistic Pillow, Jefferson Airplane, which is the first album with Grace Slick. It's a must-have. Love's Da Capo. No, I did not show Forever Changes. I do not consider Forever Changes a psychedelic record. It is a pop record. It is my favorite record. Da Capo is a psychedelic record. A lot of people knock it because there's the side 2 is all one song, but so this is a fantastic record. This has got 7 and 7 Is, which is a garage staple. Some people, people have opinions on this stuff, man. That's psychedelic. That's not psychedelic. That's prog. That's Canterbury. That's blah, 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 whatever. That's garage rock. There's genres within subgenres. And this is Love's first record to me is a garage record. This is a psychedelic record. Forever Changes is a pop record. But anyhow, that's Da Capo. Another must-have. This is a UK, I think it's a second press. It's the second variation or second pressing of this record. This is on Reaction Records. This is Cream's Disraeli Gears. Don't really have to explain this one to you. I mean, just the cover alone is psychedelic. Cream's a psychedelic band. Yardbirds, Little Games. Yardbirds, Little Games. Yeah, the Yardbirds, Little Games. Yeah, they're mostly known for blues rock or pop rock, or the big three guitar players. But this is a psychedelic record, man. You cannot tell me that, White Summer or Drinking Muddy Water. Well, Drinking Muddy Water is probably more garage blues based. Only the Black Rose. This is a psychedelic album. This is the one record that's just got Jimmy Page. You know, there's Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page before that, and then Jeff Beck. It was Eric Clapton. So I love the Yardbirds. I love Keith Relf. I actually like their blues stuff better. That's because I really dig Keith's harmonica playing. More staples. Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix double album. Once again, my favorite stuff on here is the more bluesy sound and stuff like, you know, it's got the Voodoo Child Slight Return. I actually prefer the bluesier copy of Voodoo Child with, you know, that's got Steve Winwood and a bunch of other people guesting on it. But Jimi Hendrix, that's a must-have in a psychedelic record collection. My favorite genre of psychedelic music is pop psych. So these are some of my favorite pop psych records in my collection. This is the Strawberry Alarm Clock, Incense and Peppermints, which was a monster hit, maybe the biggest hit of the Nuggets genre. I consider it more psychedelic than garage. Rainy Day, Mushroom Pillow, that's a psychedelic song, and this is a psychedelic record. And this is, some of these, you know, if you can't find originals, the reissues are relatively cheap of these too. This you can find originals of, and it's dirt cheap. Nancy and Lee, yeah, this is a psychedelic record. Lee Hazelwood's the psychedelic cowboy, man. Some Velvet Morning, it's as good a song in the genre as there ever was, you know. Oh, I just thought of something too. There were some, you know, bands or some albums that are not psychedelic, but they have, oh, I'm going to save that when I go to the other thing. Let me save that. Crimson and Clover. Yeah, this is a psychedelic record. This is a pop psych record, but it's fantastic. Crystal Blue Persuasion, Crimson and Clover, I'm a Tangerine. I mean, come on. Tommy James is fantastic. This is a psychedelic record, and it's cheap. You can find that record very cheap. Yeah, the Seeds are more known as a garage band. I would call this a psychedelic record, though. And this is my favorite. It's funny because I'm a garage guy. The first album had their big hits, but this is my favorite Seeds record. Pardon me. It's on GNP Crescendo. I mean, Up in a Room. That's, how long is that? 15 minutes, 14 and a half minutes of psychedelic bliss. That's the good stuff. It's from my favorite band, The Small Faces. This is a U.S. copy of Ogden's Nut Gone Flake. It's an original. These are all originals, by the way. There's nothing here that's a reissue. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, this is a concept album. Well, one side of it's a concept album. The Happiness Stand is a concept album. The rest of it is something else entirely. This is the band that also, this is the album that broke the band up because of Lazy Sunday. He didn't want that. Steve Marriott didn't want that song released. The rest of the band released it. He got mad. He went off with Peter Frampton, blah, blah, you know, whatever. But this is a psychedelic record. It has, at least the one side that's the Happiness Stand side. To me, this is psychedelic. It's a psychedelic as well, maybe not as psychedelic as a Small Faces got. This is another original. It's a UK copy. It's worn. I got it at a garage sale, but that's it. And finding a UK copy in the States is, you know, crazy of these guys. But you know, this is my favorite band. I scour for this stuff. I scour for anything Small Faces. I mean, this has got Green Circles. Is there any more psychedelic song than Green Circles? Steve Marriott's the best, by the way. Hear that, Brzezinski? He's better than the Kinks. Better than the Kinks. Okay, then there are some albums that maybe aren't considered psychedelic, but they certainly have a psychedelic song. Like, this is the Chambers Brothers, man. The Time Has Come Today. This is a staple. It's got a great, yeah, this album has a great cover of In the Midnight Hour, and what's the other one? Oh, People Get Ready. This is more of a soul. To me, this is more of an R&B or soul record. But The Time Has Come Today, that is a psychedelic song. That might be up right at the top of psychedelic music. And it's a cheap record to find. You can find that in thrift stores. This one you can't find in thrift stores, or generally can't, at least not anymore. This is really a garage record. But Count 5, Psychotic Reaction, I like that song. I love that song. I do not like this album that much. They do too much... too many of their songs sound like Psychotic Reaction on here, so they really plagiarize themselves. That was the word I was looking for. But this is on Double Shot Records. This is another one. This is an original too. This is more of a garage record, but garage psych to me is a genre, and they marry, and it's perfectly great. A lot of people, well, this has got the word psychedelic in it because it, you know, it's the psychedelic sounds of the 13th floor elevators. But this is to me, this is the Electrified Jug has got to be in a psychedelic record. Now I'm going to show a few of the heavy hitters from, or actually before I get to that, this is considered a heavy hitter, but there are some labels that are known for psych music. Mainstream, for example, Tangerine Zoo. I wish I had their other record. I think it's better than this one, but that's the one I happen to find. Amboy Duke's Journey to the Center of the Mind. You know, another mainstream. Yeah, I know it's Ted Nugent, but this is a psychedelic record. It's good psychedelic music. This one, I kind of regret buying this one. I'm not a huge fan, but this is also a mainstream. Tiffany Shade. So there are some labels, or like when I showed the 13th floor elevators, international artists, because I have the Red Crayola, I have Bubble Puppy. You know, I could have been here all day showing stuff, but you know, I got to speed this up. Like I said, they'll only let me do 15 minutes and I get cut off. Another heavy hitter, to me at least, it's a heavy hitter. The Savage Resurrection. It's on Mercury. That's a good one to get. On Cotillion, Mr. Flood's Party. Good psychedelic record. The Fort Mudge Memorial Dump, which is also on Mercury. My copy is pretty well spent. But you know what? When these harder to find records, sometimes you just got to, if you want them in your collection, you want originals, you got to take a chance. I highly recommend, if you don't care about whether something's original or not, reissues. I like the originals because to me, the chase is really what I enjoy. I actually enjoy the chase maybe more than spinning the stuff. So, oh, and then I pulled out some more of these heavy hitters. Thanks, Kathy. This is a third state because it's airbrushed. The actor's airbrushed. This is Velvet Underground and Nico. It's got the banana kind of intact. It's missing part of it, and the jacket's spent. But the vinyl's sweet. It's a nice copy. This is a UK copy. I think it's from '71, I do believe. So this one's a reissue. This is the Velvet Underground, self-titled. This is probably their best record. Or is it this one? This is on Cotillion. This is the Velvet Underground Unloaded. A lot of people think that, well, this isn't really psychedelic. It has more of a country western feel, or more of a folk feel, or more of a pop feel. It's a great record. Highly recommended. A lot of people, this is their favorite record. White Light, White Heat. It's hard to see, but there's the skull. It's there. Here, if I pull it out, maybe you should be able to see it better. Yeah, that shows up a lot better. So it's got the skull. This of course, has the infamous Sister Ray on it. It's a great record. West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band. That's where I'll end it up with. And this is the last one. This is called Markley, a group. It's really Bob Markley, but Dan Harris and Michael Lloyd and Sean Harris came back from the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band, helped him finish out his wondrous career. This is part one from the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band. This is a great record. This is a great record. This one's not bad. This is volume 2 from the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band, and I'll round it out with my favorite album from the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band, A Child's Guide to Good and Evil. If a child of a few hours is burning to death doesn't, you know, make you stop and think, I don't know what will. Anyhow, that's my take on Psychedelia. That you stuck around for 14 minutes and 5 seconds shows that you were really bored. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, Shelton High School, my nephew's team, won both their playoff games today. They beat Evergreen of Vancouver, and then they beat Timberline, who was in their league. Our league did very well today. I think everybody won and moved on into the second round, and sometimes we had to play each other. It's a good league. It's a tough league. We finished 4th in it. We were in 1st for most of the year, and Gig Harbor and Capital and Central Kitsap got by us, man. It's a good league. Anyhow, so we qualified for the state round of the playoffs. That's next weekend. We'll see how that goes. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. That's my take on Psychedelia. I got to shoot another video for a friend. Talk to you later. Bye.